This class of drugs showing real staying power?
Oh, absolutely. I mean, there are some analysts in the biopharma space who see this class of drugs as potentially the largest ever. And I actually saw a really interesting note from BMO coming out about this decision by WW, or Weight Watchers, to get into these drugs, comparing the company with Blockbuster, essentially saying this is the coming of streaming for weight loss services like WW or Weight Watchers.
Streaming.
And so they need to pivot into the new technology, and this is the new technology. But it is a huge shift, business-wise, a huge shift culturally, to actually have weight loss drugs that work at this scale.
Incredible.
Dr. Gottlieb, I was talking with a friend the other night about the possible scale of these weight loss drugs. Are these drugs going to be potentially the biggest, most profitable drugs over the next generation in the United States?
Yeah, well, look, to Meg's point, analysts are certainly projecting a lot of growth for these drugs, including other drugs that are going to be coming into the market. Lilly's drug Mounjaro looked very promising in a very large trial of 2,500 patients, a 72-week trial where it showed weight loss at the highest dose of upwards of 20%. We need to remember only one of these drugs is actually approved right now for weight loss in the absence of diabetes. The other drugs that are being talked about, including Ozempic, are actually only approved for diabetes. We should see the approvals coming soon for using these drugs for weight loss in the setting of patients who are obese, so they have a BMI above 30, as well as patients who are overweight who have one or more risk factors related to being overweight, like hypertension or high cholesterol. So these are going to be important drugs. I think they're going to provide a lot of public health value in helping patients get to a target weight, but they need to be used in the conjunction with diet and exercise. That's why I do think Weight Watchers is uniquely positioned to try to offer a more comprehensive solution where you can couple prescriptions of these drugs and easier access for patients who are indicated with appropriate measures like diet and exercise.
Let me probe one more time here. You've got this vast population in the United States. Just take the United States alone, where something like 40% of the population is overweight or obese, or whatever the numbers are. There, you have that. You have a drug that this class of drugs, as I understand it, are not drug. If you start taking them, you stay on them, right, for life, basically, or you lose the effects, and there may be side effects. So that is the formula generally for what we would call billion-dollar blockbuster drugs, right? No doubt there.
Well, look, these are going to be billion-dollar, and they already are billion-dollar drugs. Not everyone's going to be indicated for this just because they're overweight. A lot of people can achieve a target weight by taking appropriate steps through diet and exercise. For patients who can't achieve that, these can be an important adjunct to trying to get on an appropriate diet and trying to exercise more regularly. So they are going to help tackle the overall obesity problem in this country, but they're not without side effects. There's tolerability issues. They work by slowing gastric emptying and giving you a sense of fullness. And so some patients can't tolerate the side effects. So you need to make sure you're properly indicated for them. But they're going to be an important adjunct to trying to get more patients to a target weight who are overweight right now or obese.
So, Dr. Gottlieb, it's Meg. I've seen this class of drugs compared to statins in that, you've got to keep taking them forever, keep your cholesterol low. You were obviously the commissioner of the FDA. From a regulatory perspective, how do regulators think about drugs that may need to be taken for that long? And just as a result of, how long these drugs have been around and when the phase 3 trials were run, how much we actually know about the long-term risks of these medicines. How do you look at that and whether another risk may emerge after people have been taking these drugs for a long period of time?
Yeah, look, you're absolutely right. The FDA has seen situations where the chronic administration of a drug over a prolonged period of time increases slightly the risk for some side effect that's otherwise seen in the population. We certainly saw that with the cardiovascular risks associated, for example, with COX-2s, where it was only with prolonged administration that you started to see those things become manifest. So the agency will be looking at latent side effects. Some of these trials have gone out long time frames. I mentioned the Lilly trial, which went out to 72 weeks. And the agency does have a lot of experience with the GLP-1s as a class. They have been on the market for a long period of time. You've had daily formulations. Now you've had weekly formulations on the market. Wegovy has been on the market for some time now. So the agency has a lot of safety data to look at, but certainly not the kind of chronic administration in younger patients that you're probably going to see in the setting of these moving into a weight loss category. You're going to see these used more widely in lower risk patients. Patients who don't have diabetes aren't at significant risk for bad outcomes. And there you do worry a little bit more about exposing patients to some risks. for benefits that might be achieved through other means, like diet and exercise. So you want to make sure patients are properly indicated for these drugs, and we need to wait for the FDA approvals and the labels that are going to help guide that.
Well, that's what I was going to probe, if you don't mind, Dr. Gottlieb, because you mentioned it, and it was very important, and that is that these drugs right now are not approved as weight loss drugs. Do you anticipate, and if so, when might the FDA approve some of these medications as weight loss drugs? And second, and also very critical, when, if at all, might they get a Medicare coding permission to have Medicare reimburse?
Yeah, I mean, that will come with the approvals. Lilly is anticipating an approval from Mounjaro maybe later this year. Analysts have talked about that. They've submitted the data. FDA has put it on an expedited clock, the review. Meg's very close to these applications as well. So I think people are expecting the approvals to come this year. And that's going to really open up the category because it's going to make reimbursement easier to obtain. A lot of insurers now are covering for these uses, even in the off-label setting. But I think you're going to see reimbursement really get opened up once those approvals come.